Oh man. Okay. Anthony Brown, Carol, hi. One Angel's Ma, Andrew, hello, welcome. Carol M, welcome. Glad to see you here. Uh 3 lessons that I've learned. One thing that when you get older, you number one, you know that everybody's not going to like you. And so hi Carmen, Vern, how are you? So you're not trying to make everybody like you because you know some people aren't going to like you. So that's okay. Hi Carol, hi Sassy. Sassy, I haven't seen you in a while. Torte, I guess. Anita, our moderator, is here. Nancy, welcome, welcome. Rosa, Ramona, hi. How are you? Good. How are you doing, Anita? So, Diane, Angel, Mist, Rosa, hello. Oh, we have someone over on Facebook. Hello, Sandra D. Young. Nice to have you here. So, Smiley. So, 3 things that I've learned is that everybody's not going to like you. How many of you have had that where you thought you could get everybody to like you, then you realize that everybody's not going to like you, and then you just had to just deal with it. Rosa, thank you. I'm going to tell you something that happened, tell you how forgetful I am or whatever. I lost my wallet. And I went to go get my hair done yesterday, and I didn't know I'd lost, my cards. Like I had a little purse, and I had all my cards and my driver's license. So I go there to get ready to pay for my hair, and I have no card. I have no. I don't carry cash, so I have no card. Glad you're here, Sandra. Yeah, and I didn't have a card. So I said, oh my God, I don't have a card. So I told her I'd get back with her. I go home. I have no driver's license. I have all my cards are gone. So and then you ask them to send your thing, and so 5 to 7 days before you can get a card. So you have no debit card. So I got cash out the bank so I can go over there and pay her, and she's way on the other side of town. So I had to drive like 20 minutes each way, but I got to go pay her because she did my hair and I didn't have any money to pay her. And so I don't know what the heck happened. And, and I think I was in Tallahassee in Greg City when I lost it. So he had to go back. He had some appointments today. So he went back yesterday evening after we went and worked out. And he checked my car because I have one car there and one car here, and it wasn't there. So tomorrow I'm going to go get my driver's license, which, you know what? I really did need to get a new license because how many of you have a picture of yourself, your driver's license, and you don't even look like that anymore? You when you look and you give people your driver's license, it doesn't even look like you. How many of you have had that happen? Like you go there and you show people your license and they're like, yeah, you too, Anita? Yeah, I mean, my hair color is different. I wear longer hair. I mean, I don't look like I did several years ago. so, share the live here. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the mistakes that I made, and you too, Sandra. So anyway, I get to go there and I can say, hey, I want a new picture. So maybe that was the thing. I lost my license. I don't know. I've never lost my license. So I don't know what the heck happened. Uh, let's just believe that things happen for a reason. So tomorrow, hopefully, I can go get my driver's license, and I ordered my cards. Hi, Lisa, and I'll be good as new. The thing is, because I'm trying to figure it out. Usually, I go to Greg's house next week, but I don't know. I might stay here. We're going to go away for the weekend for the 4th, but maybe I might stay here. The link isn't working. It isn't? The link I gave you isn't working? Huh. That's strange. Huh. Okay, well, we'll try it another day. I've been working on it all day, and let's see. Where is it? I don't know. So anyway, it should be this one. Let me see. I'm going to see if it works. Yeah, I'm thinking it's working. Yep, it is working. Let me see if I can message it to you. I don't know why. Let me see if I can find you. Let me see if I can find Anita's message here. Here. Message. It's a message. I don't know. I probably will just have to, because I can't find you right now. And it's just going to be a big deal. Here it is. I found you. Try it again. See if that works. I just messaged it to you. Okay. So now, so we're going to talk about mistakes. First thing, the biggest mistake I think that I made and that we women make is that we think that men think how we think. They had this book that was like women are from Mars and men are from Mars or women from Venus or whatever. You couldn't think so different from each other. You can't even think how different you are from you're just not thinking the same way. And that was the big thing. That was a big problem for me is that so we assume. And if you think that somebody is thinking like you, do you ask them questions or do you assume that they're thinking like you? What do you think? Ask questions or assume? Or you assume? Do you ask questions or do you assume? You assume, yeah. You assume that we're both on the same page, we're both on the same thing, and you ask questions, Anita. That's good for you, because that was a mistake that I didn't do. Was I just I didn't ask questions. I mean, this was my thing. I wanted to know. I wanted to know all about his history. So I wanted to know all about all the women that he'd been with over the years. And, and I'm just kind of asking. And, if he kind of asked, and he told me about different, this one and that one. And so, he told me when he was married. He told me about, the person he was with for 11 years. And so I would just ask him all these questions because I wanted to know how he thought. You want to know their past too. So he's just like telling me because he doesn't think it's gonna, I don't know what he was thinking that he told me all this stuff. I'm thinking about Uh, I don't know why. I mean, I think he just thought, well, she's just kind of interested. Maybe he didn't want taking me seriously. I mean, I don't know why he told me everything, but hi, Regina from Texas. Good to see you here. It was our Facebook friends. Yeah, so I just would, and we, every time we go on, and I would keep asking more and more questions. And why did you do this? And who do you think that? And what happened to that relationship? And why did you break up? And so I, kept getting all this information over the year. And everything was fine until he started pulling back. And we started pulling back. My red flags went up because, oh, this guy, this guy did this to this woman and that to that woman. And so, I had all this information. And he really regretted it. He still regrets it to this day. He says, I really wish. Hi, Vera. How are you today? Regina? He regretted it. Like, I should never have told you all this stuff. I never should have told you all the thing, because now you're holding it against me. And I guess he was right, because I was like, I have all this information. What is different about us that you're not, that you're not going to do the same thing you did to others? And so, and so they're guys. Do you know what guy? How many of you know what a Lothario is? I should probably look it up. Lothario. Who knows what a Lothario is, or who could Google a Lothario? What's a Lothario? What is a person who, a man is a man who's a Lothario? I think they, like many years ago, they said this guy, Rudolph Valentino, was a Lothario. Do you know what a Lothario is? You turned 68 yesterday. Happy birthday, Vera. Can we all sing like happy birthday to Vera? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vera. Happy birthday to you. Okay, so over here we've got a successful womanizer, a seducer, a womanizer, a Casanova. So, yeah. So, yes. So, I was, with Greg, and I didn't think of him as being, a Lothario or that as time went on. But, I just had, how can I say it? I had my antenna up because I had a father who was very, very unfaithful, very, very unfaithful. He's unscrupulous, charming seducer of women. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, when I started, this is when I said, like, I after we were together, I guess we were together a year and a half. We were together a year. We got engaged before before the year was up. And as I think I told you, I moved that along. So probably if it was up to him, we never would have gotten engaged. Now, I want to tell you some things. I mean, if you can look at our pictures, you can look at the videos. I have so much fun with him. We have so much fun together, and we laugh, and we are real comfortable with each other. We like to do the same things. We just have like this thing, like when we have dinner, I'm a vegetarian and he's not. He cooks his food, I cook my food. We sit at the table, we say grace, and we both eat our meals. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, we get up in the morning, we make up the bed together, and we do the dishes together, and we, go to bed at the same time. I mean, I've never had that in my whole life, really. In fact, when we were together, when we moved in together to each other's house, I was used to like working all the time. This is why you like you should, because it helps. I'm glad to hear that, Regina. I'd never had that, because I've just been a loner. I lived by myself for 46 years. So I didn't really think he wanted to spend that much time with me. And then we were together and he'd say, the only time I see you is when it's time to go to bed, because I would be in my office all day. So he wanted to he wanted a companion. He wanted someone to be a companion. Go for a walk together, go to the gym, go out to eat, cook, wash the dishes, make the bed. And that's what we have together. Sometimes we sit out by the pool. Last Sunday, we went to his clubhouse and we laid out by the clubhouse. We go to church together. I've been by myself for 46 years, and I wasn't used to doing something with someone all the time, but I enjoy it and I feel comfortable. I don't feel, how can I say it? I don't put on, I'm just myself, and he's fine with that. If I want to sleep in or, whatever. And I've never had companionship like that. So it was very, very new for me. And, to wait till you're in your 70s and all of a sudden you're like together. And it feels good. It really, when we're together, it calms my nervous system. It's just like I just feel so calm when we're together. And we're also very, very affectionate. Now, when we first got together, he says, I'm not really used to being so affectionate. I said, well, I'm going to be affectionate with you. So we hold hands. He learned how to hold hands with me. And when we sleep at night, we sleep on his side of the bed on one pillow. He had to get used to. We're like, well, there. Now, when I'm not there, he misses, because I'm right there, right next to the pillow. Besides the fact that we have a very good chemistry together. So, here I am in my 70s and I'm having this kind of experience. And so, again, I was assuming a lot. I was assuming a lot of things. For example, I assumed that when we got to be a year together, we were going to be engaged, which he didn't plan on. Yeah, it really calms. He still calms my nervous system. Just it makes my heart happy at when you just in the same room, like we're in a room and we watch TV. I don't usually watch TV, but when he's here, I'll watch TV because he likes us to watch TV together. And you have to have your own side of the bed. Amy said, I don't know why. It's just like I just want to cuddle with him. I like to cuddle and snuggle with him. And and I slept by myself for 40 years, 40 something years. And so it's nice to have, someone there that cuddles and snuggle like that. So so that was all good. Now, the first time we ran into a problem it was a holiday. And he said, I've got to work around my house. I got to do whatever it was he was going to do. And I'm going, and we'll be together next weekend, but not this weekend. And so my like, what? I was like, what? We're not going to be together on the holiday. And I just couldn't get it. And, so how many of you remember I had that weekend? You remember that? Yeah. So I was like, so I was by myself this weekend. I mean, and we spent every weekend together for 6 months, no weekends apart, never any weekends apart. And then all of a sudden, he's got to work around the house. So I just, my head, you remember that? My head went from A to Z. Like we're, and really the truth was he wasn't going to be gone all weekend. He said, what was it? He said he was going to be gone. What does he say? He wasn't going to come Friday and he was going to work all day Saturday. And then he was going to come on Saturday night or something like that. And that was, so it was really one day. One day he was not going to be there. And I'm like, this is very strange. There must be another woman. There has to be another woman. And so he called me and he's like talking to me. Yeah, I'm doing whatever he said he was doing. And then, but I'm thinking he's with someone else. He's got to be with someone else. And so I decided to go on a date. Do you remember I went on the date? I went on a date. So he calls me and he's talking about so-and-so. And what was it? He had bought me something. I remember, what did he buy me? I think he paid for my hair to be done. He paid whatever it was, he paid for something. And he says, oh, I'm sure your hair is whatever. And I said, yeah, it's going to look good when I go on my date. And he's got, date? I had my engagement ring. So I said, date? I said, yeah, I'm going to date. And he's like, what brought that on? Why are you going on a date? And I said, well, I'm just going on a date. So anyway, he got all, I'd been out of shape because I was going on this date. And then I videoed it. Remember, I videoed me going on this date. And people were just going crazy because I was like going on this date with this guy. And I was dressed. And Greg still thinks about it because I had on, I had my engagement ring on. I went on the date with the engagement ring. And I had on a low cut top, which he had bought me. And I had like a short skirt. I don't know if he bought me that too. But he said, you were there with him, with this guy. And you had my ring. You had my ring. And everything that I'd bought you and the ring. And you were on a date. So I go on the date and I go into I was meeting the guy on Starbucks. And on Starbucks, and I said, oh, hi, Rusty. His name was Rusty. His name was Rusty. And so anyway, I had the date with Rusty. And now Rusty is like trying to make, whatever. And I'm like, because what had happened was when I told Greg I was going on the date, he was like, no, there's no one else. I'm here working on the yard and don't go out on the date, And I said, well, I got this guy. I'm going to meet him. I have to go on the date because he's expecting me. I can't just like not show up. You're in a lot of pain, Tara. You're still having a lot of pain with your hip. Ugh. So anyway, so Rusty kept trying to get me to sell my ring. He said, he's got other women. He's juggling women. This is what the guy, because he wants to make score with me. And so I wish I could tell you that was the only date I went in. I haven't tell you about the date I went on in January. But anyway, so I went on the date with Rusty, and Greg got here like whatever it was he came here that night, whatever it was, he came that evening, and he didn't know what to expect. He was like, well, I don't know, what is it, and so he was like, what happened? Well, why are you, what happened? Why are you? It was one night. I've been coming here for 6 months every day, every week. And I missed one night and then you go on a date. So anyway, Rusty, there's Rusty. So we still laugh about Rusty because he says, you were wearing everything that I had given you, and you were out on a date with another guy. So anyway, that was one thing I did. And so we got past that. And then we had a few other bumps along the road. And I was sharing everything on social media, everything that was happening. Yeah, I had on the outfit he bought me, in the ring, everything. So I'll tell you about my second date, okay? So so the second date I went on was in when was it? We took a 30-day break, okay? So we took a 30-day break, and then we had a day. Let's see. So we took a 30-day break. I'm trying to think how this happened. So, okay. So then we took the 30-day break, and then I broke up with him. I just said, I'm not doing this with you anymore, blah, 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 blah. And so I broke up with him. I said, I'm not going to see you anymore. And he was like, well, why? And I just don't, whatever. So there was a second date. I'm telling you about the second date because you didn't know about the second date. Hi, Mary. How are you? Welcome to my tell all the mistakes I made. So anyway, on the second date, so we broke up, and then I got back on Match.com. We broke up. And so Greg saw that I was on Match.com. So he wrote, oh, now you're going to go and find another sucker. That's what he said. You couldn't even wait. You couldn't even wait. I found another sucker, So he was like really mad that I was dating another guy. I mean, I wasn't dating, I was on the thing. And, all these men, it was just like men out of the woodwork. It was so many men that I was just like, it's just a job. I don't even have the energy. Number one, I'm broken up. I'm still in love with Greg, broke up with him. And then all these men, he called us a sucker. You'll find another sucker, So anyway, I was on Match.com. And so there was one guy, he was kind of interesting. And the thing I liked about him was that he liked international travel. Greg and I, we are going to Portugal in September, but this guy liked international travel all over the world, and he shared pictures with me. Yeah, he is. And so anyway, this guy shared all these pictures. Well, we had said we were going to, this is what happened. When we broke off and Greg came back and he said, I just, look, I'm sorry. This is what he said. I apologize for procrastinating and not taking us as serious as I should have. And can you tell me what can I do? Can we make this work? What can I do to make things work? He's at home. He had to work today. So I thought about it, and I said, well, we're going to have to live together, because number one, I don't want to say number one, I don't trust you, but number two, you're 3 hours there and I'm the 3 hours here, and we see each other on the weekends, and I need more than that. Greg's kids and my kids. I met Greg's kids finally. And they're like, neither one of our kids are like that excited. Like, oh, wow, this is wonderful. My kids are like, okay, if he makes you happy. That's what they're like. I don't get it. My kid. And we live together. We've created a way of, this is what works for me, So we created a way that we can live together. And he has his house and I have my house, and we split. We work. We're at his house one week, and we're at my house the next week. Now, when he's at my house, you have to keep in mind he works at a bank. So he has to go back there. He comes here, like we come over on Saturday or Sunday. He's here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, usually he'll go Wednesday, he'll work, go to the offices, he has to work on Wednesday, and then he'll work Thursday and come back here Thursday night, and then we're Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Saturday or Sunday we go back to his house. So that's kind of how we switch off. And when he goes to work, which is fine, because I'm working, we're both working, we're both in our 70s, we're working. So when he has to go to a physical location, he's got to go home. He's got to be home. So like that's what he had today. He had an appointment at 9 a.m. This was unusual, but he had a lot of things going on. So he had to leave, which is fine. But anyway, yeah, yeah, yeah. He did apologize. So anyway, he apologized. Like, I've been procrastinating with us, and tell me what I need to do to make it right. So that's when I proposed that we live together 50-50, at my, as much as possible, because again, he works at a bank. But I do really love my home. And even on the times he's not here, I like, the little break. I'm sure he probably likes a little break. I mean, because we're literally together, he gets up and goes to work, but I'm, there all the time. I'm there, and he's made me an office at his house, and I love my office. He got me a stand-up desk and a studio desk, and I have all my stuff and my files. So I I like to work. So he made a place so I can feel comfortable and I work. And then, like I said, when I first came there, I was like working all the time. And he says, can we have dinner together? So we started having dinner together because he loved it. Like, we're together. We're supposed to have dinner together. So we have dinner. And like I said, he eats what he eats. I eat what I eat. We both cook our own food. We both do our own laundry. I don't go to his house. I don't clean in his house. He doesn't clean in my house. We just like, this is my house. This is my domain. And he's really picky about certain things. I don't get it. But anyway, he's picky about certain things in his house. How to load the dishwasher. It has to be loaded this way. I'm like, I give a rat's ass about how the dishwasher's loaded. But anyway, so so he said, okay, tell me what I need to do. Okay, what he did said, okay. He says, I'm going to propose how we can make this work, how we can, I'll come up with an idea. This is what he said. I'll come up with an idea about how we can make this work. And I'll make a proposal, and you let me know whether it works for you or not. That's what it was. And he's a procrastinator, of course, just like the engagement. Week in, week out, he doesn't come back with a plan. He doesn't have a plan. Time is going on. He doesn't have a plan. We don't have a plan, and we don't have a date. But he said he was sorry. Look, he said, I'm sorry I procrastinated, and I want to make it right. Well, he's procrastinating again. So I decided to go on another date. And so this time I went on a date with a guy. So we're going to go here this weekend to the Villages, which is a senior citizen community. And Greg and I have gone there a couple of times, and they have dancing and a lot of things. So anyway, I met a guy online, and he lived in this town, in Villages. And, he was interesting. He liked to travel internationally, and he, la da da. He was real tall, like he was just like, okay. So we kind of text each other and say, okay, well, I'll come up. They're not coming to my house, but I'll come and meet you, right? And what was his name? His name was John. So, Greg, we're like, he's not coming up with a plan yet. And he's calling, but we're actually still on the break. So he says, so what are you doing this weekend? I said, oh, I'm just going to go to the villages, you know, just kind of hang out. He said, oh, who are you going with? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to, meet a friend there. Yeah. We weren't living together yet. We were waiting on the finalization of our plan. He hadn't come up with the plan. And so I'm like, until you come up with a plan, and a date that we're going to be together, my options are still open. You haven't made a commitment yet. You're like having me out there floating, waiting for me. And so I decided to go on this date. So anyway, he finds out. Yeah, well, I said, well, I met a guy, and I'm going to go and meet with him. And then Greg did not like that, and he was like, "Oh, okay, well, So anyway, so I'm going on this second date, and to meet John. And so I go, and it's a long drive to meet the guy, John. I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, I go out there to meet John. And John had a big house or whatever, and he had a guest room, and I was going to stay in the guest room. So we go there, and Greg is like, well, get all your, what he said, get all of your whatever out, so that that I'm the one, so you're sure that I'm the one. And I said, okay. I knew I wasn't gonna like be romantic with this guy. I mean, in the least. But anyway, I go there, and we talk, and we watch Gone with the Wind. Anybody seen Gone with the Wind, the movie Gone with the Wind? Yeah, but that's the thing, the procrastination. I was like, okay, you're going to procrastinate. I'm not going to just be sitting here, sitting on my hands, waiting for you to do what you said you were going to do. Anyway, so I'm in John's house. This guy is very meticulous. Oh my God. But anyway, so we sat there and we watched Gone with the Wind. We never kissed. I never let him hold my hand and nothing like that. Of course, at night he was like, well, are you going to sleep in my room? I said, no, you said I could stay in the guest room. So, yep. So anyway, it's bedtime. I'm going to bed. I have my pajamas on. And so I text Greg a picture, and I said, I had on my polka dot pajamas again, my flannel pajamas, but I was in the other room, door locked. And I said, I'm not sleeping with him. I'm in this guest room. And so I'm in this other guy's house, texting with Greg the whole time I'm there. Yeah, that was. Yep, that was. So anyway, long story short, Greg stepped up. He stepped up. And we came up with a plan. We came up with the date. And here we are. So maybe it's not a traditional way of doing things, but you know what? Especially you take someone like Greg, he's been single for 20 years, and he's had not all kind of women, but he's had women. And he has in demand, he's like, lots of widows, and they're he has lots of options. Let me just say it that way. I mean, and he has been able to afford over all these years to kind of, not step up, basically. You know what I mean? Because there's so many women, and he has said about that. He says he didn't know what it was about me. He said, but usually if he runs into a snag or something with a woman, he usually just says, "Okay, next," like he's like that. But he said when he cared about me, he had fallen in love with me, and so if I would act up or whatever, or what would happen, it would make him pull in more to be with me. And yeah. So, you know, guys don't think how we think, right? So, if they think that you're going to be sitting there just waiting for them, then, they're going to procrastinate. And it's just like when Greg and I, because I did the do-it-yourself engagement. I got the ring. He ordered the ring. He paid for the ring, but I put the ring on before he asked. But there came a time where I had to take the ring off because he was like being flippant about the ring, like, well, like we weren't engaged. I said, well, I did this. I take responsibility. I did this. I'm the one who put the ring on before you asked. And so here, and I wasn't giving the ring back, but I just said, I wouldn't give him the ring back. But it's like, okay, all right. We're not engaged. We're not going to be engaged. And then he was like, no, 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 no. We're engaged. It doesn't matter how it happened. It happened. So we are engaged. So then he had to step forward to like make, like not be passive with me. Like if we're going to be engaged, we're going to be engaged. And then when he said he wanted us to be engaged, I recorded it and it's here on TikTok on my page. Cause I was like, I want evidence that you actually asked me to spend the rest of my life with you. And, and that's, I like that about him. It's like, and I'm not, like I like lose stuff all the time, and he's really patient with me with that. I mean, I've lost my phone. Now I lost my driver's license, and he's like, he's very patient with me. He's very caring. He's very caring. And I like that. I like to be with someone who wants to be caring. Now, when you think about the dates, number one, I did not sleep with any other man during the period of time since the time we've been together. I've only been with him in 20 years. I wasn't with anybody for 20 years. And then I went all in with him. So I'm not like going around sleeping around with different men, but sometimes men, they had, because that's what he said. When I was with John, he said, I realized I was very jealous and I didn't want you to be with anybody else but me. But it took that for him to get, it took, just look at it. I mean, if we look at the evidence of what happened and how it all happened, it wasn't until I broke up with him that he came forward and said, I'm sorry, I procrastinated. Right. And then, oh yeah, you have to see it, Regina, Gone with the Wind. I read the book. It's a long, long movie. But we have to. I mean, I was just doing what felt net to me. Like I wasn't going to sit around and wait. Or, he had already told me about the women who wanted to marry him and he should have married them or whatever. So I wasn't going to be one of those. If we're going to be together, we're going to be together. Otherwise, let's not be together. When I'm 77, I mean, what am I going to do? So, if you look at the evidence, I did have to break up with him. I did have to break up with him to say, look, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you. This is not how I'm going to be with you. And then when he did say, come up, like, okay, tell me what we need to do. And then he drags his feet again. He just said he was sorry he procrastinated, And now he's procrastinating again. So then I went on a date with John. Well, when I went on a date with John, he's really, oh God, I'm really jealous. I really want, and then we set the date and we started where we are now. So, a lot of times, you have to be a little proactive. I mean, I had to be proactive because they're like, they'll just have you sitting there, sitting on your hands, and they don't really, because, I, how can I say it? A lot of men, especially like men like Greg, he's a very masculine man. And they don't really feel like how we feel. They don't feel. And they only feel when like one time he was really angry with me, and he said, I've not ever been that angry. I'm glad I didn't talk to you because I was so angry. And then I was like, why am I so angry about this with her? I usually just would move on. But he would, so it was when he would have those emotions that he would realize how much I meant to him. You know what I mean? And when I went out with Rusty, he's like, oh yeah, there are other men. I could lose her to other men. There are other men that want to be with her. So that gets his attention. And then, when I was with John, he realized I'm so jealous. I don't want her to let me step up and do whatever. So, a lot of times, we're over there nagging or begging for them to be a certain way for us, but they have to come to it on their own. They have to come to it on their own. And nagging and crying and why are you this way? I mean, I've never had that conversation with Greg ever. I've never had that conversation. I did have a conversation with him about his neighbor extensively. But guys, they just don't think the way we think. They don't think and feel the way we feel. And so we're sitting there waiting for a call. I want to say something else about my relationship with Greg. I don't call him. We've been together all this time. I'm not sitting here like, oh, hey, what are you doing today? How are you feeling today? Or what'd you do today? When we weren't living together, I didn't know how until he called me on Thursday. I never dialed his number. I've never dialed his number because he has these women, because he has kind of an ideal situation because he is a financial planner. And he's a financial planner, and primarily most of his clients are widows. So he's got all these, when we like women, like, should I buy these floors or whatever? Like he's like helping these women manage their money. And so you can imagine that's a very intimate thing. And so, women are calling, women are texting. And but if he wants to talk to me, he's going to pick up the phone and he's going to call me. I mean, I'm not saying like if he says, tell me when you're home and I'll text him that I'm home, but I will never be here like, oh, hey, what's going on today? No, I don't say, hey, how are you feeling today? No. What did you do today? No. Now that we're living part-time, his house, part-time, my house, we talk about that. We talk about that. But why am I there and all the other women aren't there? Why am I there? You know what I mean? Why am I the one who's there? Because, I mean, let's just face it, men, there's a lot of women out there, and women like throw themselves at men in a different way, So, you just have to feel, like know who you are and what you want and be willing to walk away. He knew that I was willing to walk away. I said, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not, I'm not doing this with you. And, I'm not like the other women. I'm not doing this with you. So here we are. Now, the good part is He makes me happy. I love being with him. I feel comfortable. I feel safe. And I feel like he does a lot to try to please me and makes me know that he's there. I mean, even though he had to work this week, he gets up. I mean, when he comes to my house, he really doesn't have anything to do. He's like here at my house and he works. So he has his computer, but he works at a bank. He works in a physical location, but he comes here. We both have children that live far away. His kids live in Ohio. My daughter lives in Asheville, North Carolina. My son lives in New Jersey. My grandson lives in Asheville, and my granddaughter lives in Connecticut. And his kids all live probably within a radius of his ex-wife. And it's very interesting, when I was up there and met his kids and we all went to dinner and we had the whole thing, his ex-wife is up there and he had some beautiful homes. I mean, he lived a much more upscale life when he was younger. He was a lot more prosperous when he had there. And he showed me, thank you. He showed me both of his houses and I was very like, wow, you used to really live a lot better than you did now. When you were with your wife, they were married for 20 years. They were very successful. Their kids went to private schools. They took them jet skiing and boating. And that was his lifestyle. That's why he bought this property on the lake up in Georgia. And I was with him when he bought the land because he always talked about he wanted to live on a lake again. So hopefully if he doesn't wait too long, we will live on the lake. And as for me, I personally want, and just be honest. I mean, I love Greg a lot and he's wonderful, but the way it stands, he can't afford me. He can't afford our lifestyle. And I'm not with him for money because he doesn't have, I mean, he's okay. He's got a 4-bedroom house and that, but he's got like a lot of repairs. He's still making a lot of repairs on his house. He's done a lot, especially since we moved in together. He's working on his house and, and he says he's going to sell his house one day, but he's got a lot of things to do to sell that house, to all the things. He's still got to put a new bathroom in and whatever. And, but I personally have to assure my retirement, and I'm like a late bloomer. So I have a lot of things going right now. And when I feel that way, when I feel like I could be there with him, not, like totally living the lifestyle that I want to live, I could live with him. I would love, he makes a good appearance. Like you could go anywhere. You can go to a nice restaurant. You can go on a cruise. You can go anywhere because he's very knowledgeable and he's savvy. He knows how to act. He's very intelligent and, like all of that. So, I would, if I made the money that I plan on making, that he could be my arm candy. Yeah. But he's really like, he's got to pay, like whenever we go out, he always pays. He's that kind of man. Yes. So anyway, what we're going to put in the link here is, I have a questionnaire for you. It's free. So you to find out what your invisible rule is. When I found out what my invisible rule was, which is when I broke off with him and I kind of asked myself these questions, and I want you to ask yourself these questions. And Anita's put the link in there. Get the link, go there and answer the questions. There's no charge. Just answer the questions because we got to know who we are inside. And that's what I had to do, and that's what enabled me to be where I am now, like walk away, to really tell myself the truth about where I was not being true to myself and where I had, let the oxytocin go to my brain. So yeah, do that, the invisible rule, go there and it's just answer the questions. And let me see if I can put that here in Facebook too. And just click on the link there. And here, I'm putting this in Facebook. So you could go there and then you just answer the questions. That's it. There it is right there. Yes. So anyway, does anybody have any questions before I leave? We end today. And so then we have one more day tomorrow. I'm doing it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I spend with my sweetie. And yeah, that's what we do. That's the way we do it. And then I'll get him on here one day. Yeah, click on that link and you ask the questions, and that'll be the start. I got some free stuff. All of this is free, so you have some free stuff to help you. And yeah, but I have to say that I am happy, and I wasn't always happy. And you remember, you all saw me go crazy and saw me do all the stuff. But and it you know, when you fall in love with someone, it's not going to be all smooth, and you do hurt. You know what I mean? But do I value that? I do value that. I value that I opened myself up, because I was living my life too afraid to be hurt, that I wasn't living life. You know what I mean? I was like afraid. But you know, it is when you have rough times, it's not fun. And but you know what? We fell in love with each other, and you know, and it's never going to be perfect. No, there's no place that's going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. He's not perfect. Love's not perfect. But I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it, because when he walks through that door and I go in his arms and I hug him, and he's like so happy for me to hug him. So it's been a fun journey. So anyway, thank you all for being here. Does anybody have any questions? I want to thank Anita for being our wonderful moderator. Click the link and do the questionnaire. You'll find out a lot about yourself. It'll give you a rating. It'll tell you about what your invisible rule is. So go ahead and do that. And I will be here tomorrow. And thank you all for being here. And I will see you again. Thanks again, Anita. Appreciate you. Love you. And we'll see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Facebook. We'll see you later.